I call this story From Russia with Love, the spirit of Kaizen lives in all of us. 2 years ago, I was asked to help our plant in Russia develop a strategic plan for continuous improvement for the next 3 to 5 years. Now, 2 years before, I'd been there to help build the plant and get the lines running, so I had a basic understanding of what working in Russia was like. But this was new, building strategy, wasn't totally sure what to expect. So I set up some time with the team leader prior to the event on a Sunday just to make sure I understood how to engage with the team and give them the support they needed to get what they wanted to get done. He informed me that in the culture of Russia, if you are the top level in the room, most people will stay silent and just listen to your idea and then agree with it whether they do or not. I knew that this is not the best way to develop strategy, so I knew I had to work on ways to engage each of the team members. One of the methods I use is with sticky notes and pens and letting them write their ideas and share them one at a time, regardless of what level or role you're in. So I told him I would do that. He agreed, it sounded good. And so we set about to start this session using this method. So after some training and after walking through the plant to gather many ideas, the team shared their ideas and then prioritized the things they wanted to work on. One of the ideas was worth $800,000. And so we set a sub-team to work on it with the right players to do so. After about an hour and a half, each sub-team was supposed to share their results so far. And it turned out the $800,000 idea team really had made very little progress. When I explored a little further, it turned out that the person they needed to speak with, they didn't believe would support their idea. But this person wasn't in the room and they were an executive and they figured it would take a few weeks to get that information back. But we didn't have that much time. So I told them to shape out the idea as if they had support and I'd work on the other side of it with the plant manager. So I went into his office and I spoke to him about how do we give this team the support they need to move this idea forward. Well, as it turns out, there were some traveling executives in the plant for other reasons, and one of the executives in the plant was the person they needed to speak with. And I said, great, let's bring them to meet the executive. Well, the plant manager looked at me like that might not be such a great idea, but I knew we didn't have a lot of time on our hands and I was willing to take that risk. So I went back to the team room, got the team and said, hey, the person you need to speak with is here at the plant this week. Why don't we go talk to her? And they looked a little sheepish, but they decided they'd come with me because, you know, this American might be onto something. So we found the executive. She was in an office on the phone. So we showed up to the office door. Luckily, there was a nice big window there, and she saw us. She looked up from her phone, looked at us, looked back down. And the team wanted to leave, and I said, just wait a couple minutes. Let's see what happens. Let's just see how this plays out. So we stood there. She looked up again, and then she made the mistake. She waved us in. So we opened the door, and I introduced myself, and the rest of the team thanked her for taking a few minutes with us. We knew she was busy, but one of our team members was going to describe an idea we thought could be worth $800,000. That seemed to get her attention. She said, well, I'm really busy. And then she paused. And then she said, you know what? I can give you a couple minutes. So one of our team members started to explain the idea to her. All of a sudden, she was asking all these great questions. And soon she was adding to the idea to make it even stronger. And in about 15 minutes, she had shown her support, added to the idea, and congratulated them on building a great concept for the plant. Excited, the team left, thanked her, and went back to the team room to build their new concept. They shared the idea with the other teams and built even more energy and enthusiasm. Later on, the executive came to visit to see how things were going, and that just brought the energy up even further. So it just goes to show if you give people time and let them be creative, they can come up with breakthroughs that can really help, and the spirit lives on around the world. I hope this story provided you with some inspiration to revisit your own processes. I have a lot more I'd like to share. Head over to pi-partners.com to learn how I can help. And check back from time to time for more Kaizen stories.